shoes. Come on in.
Okay.
I've got the computer set up over here so we can take a look at the assessment.
Great.
You know, when I first moved in, I actually changed all the LEDs in the kitchen because it's the place that uses the most energy, and I couldn't afford to do it all at one time. But when the home print assessment came in, which is the entry level assessment, they changed 20 LEDs, and I'm already saving money from that. So we're started out okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now you've had your full comprehensive energy assessment with the Community Energy Challenge, and here's the report. So let's take a look at it. The first page here, we're looking at the scorecard, which is total annual energy consumption based on current conditions, and then the potential for upgrades based on the recommendations we came up with for you.
Okay.
And going from there, we break down total energy into these different uses in the home. So heating, cooling, water heating, lighting and appliances, and so on.
My heating's pretty good. I think that's because I have radiant floors, which I love because they keep me really warm and comfortable in the winter, and they don't use much energy because they're gas heated.
Yeah, and with those you can choose the zones to heat and not heat, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Let's take a look at the first area of heat loss in the home, where you have some pretty good potential for savings, and that is air leakage. So we came in and we used our infrared camera to find some of these leaks, and here are some pretty neat pictures.
These photos are awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to spend a little time taking a look at these in the home, kind of identifying these locations. But bottom line, there's some room for sealing things up, and I can help you figure out where that needs to happen. And then from there, we found some areas where the attic insulation probably could be fixed up a little bit as well. You have a lot of vaulted ceilings, so there are some areas where there's just not much you can do.
Right.
But for the open attic areas, if there are low spots, we'd like to address those.
Okay.
The house is built closer to current energy codes, so the insulation levels are pretty decent. And then we can spend some time looking at appliance options, and then we'll take a look at the lighting.
Okay, that sounds great.
So this is the location of that first infrared image we were looking at,
Mm-hmm.
and we're seeing air leaking in around the edges of this outlet cover plate, and also air leaking in along this gap where the door frame
wow,
is
look at that.
separating from the drywall.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so and then there are some other air leakage areas in the house we should take a look at. So let's have a look at those.
Okay, that sounds great. So Ross, I know not everything we do in our house is energy efficient. So one of the examples is I have an LED tree, but instead of it being on full blast all the time, I like to trim it down. I've got a dimmer on it to save energy and also to change the ambiance, so I can have it a little lower in the evenings, and then it's really easy to turn off before I go to bed.
That's a good idea.
One other do-it-yourself thing that I did is I bought one of these smart strips on Shop PSE, and what it does is it turns things off when they're done charging and saves me energy. And I believe they call that vampire loads.
Yeah, these things are awesome.
One of the big things when we bought this house is it had an old washer and dryer. So we saved up, and one of our first purchases was a new washer and dryer. And we were really lucky in that we got a rebate from Puget Sound Energy and also from the City of Bellingham from their water conservation and from the manufacturer. So it made it a little bit more affordable, and it's making a huge difference. It actually, the clothes, the way they come out in the dryer, in the washing machine, is they're almost dry. And I can actually hang them to dry to get the rest of the way, and it still saves some energy.
Yeah, and it's a great way to save water too. So in this room is actually another area that I wanted to point out as far as air leakage. With our testing, we identified the attic access hatch as one of the areas of most significant leakage. So it's something that's going to need to be sealed up. Mm-hmm. And on the topic of air leakage, once you have your house all sealed up, it's going to be necessary to actually put in some time with your whole house ventilation fan. And we have a timer over here on the wall that's intended to be set for some automatic intervals. Right now it's not set for anything, but once your house is sealed up, we'll be able to advise you on what that needs to be set at.
That'd be great, because I really wasn't sure what to do with that. I really appreciate all the information you shared with me. I'm quite excited about Bellingham having an opportunity to win the Georgetown University Energy Prize, and I know that these are the things that we do at our home that will make a difference. So I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you. It's been my pleasure.